Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. While you're in growth mode in your business, it's pretty hard to think about the idea of selling it or saying goodbye to it, right? It's kind of like when you have a newborn baby, you don't think about graduation day. But inevitably that day may come and you want to be ready for it and be able to be nimble and be adaptive to your new goals, your new priorities, the person you'll become once your business matures a bit more. And that's what I want to talk about today is how you want to be building a sellable business today, even if you have no intention within your eyesight to be able to sell it. And why I say this is you want to be thinking about, is this sellable as a lens through which you look at everything in your business? Here's why. Because ultimately, you can't do this forever. Let's be real. Like you won't be able to do this forever. You know, your life is finite. I mean, it's true. Your life is finite and you can't guarantee that it's just going to run on its own without you. And furthermore, that's also one of the reasons to build it like you're going to sell it. So it could run without you. But the problem is that a lot of people are running their businesses with no end in sight and their kids don't want to take it over. There's nobody who wants to assume the role of owner. Maybe the employees are just really happy where they're at and nobody knows what to do, right? And you don't want to be stuck in that position where you have to basically close the doors and say, that's it, and just end the legacy, right? Some of us want to build something that can be passed on or create the legacy, create a real impact, a real ripple effect. And in order to do that, you have to think with the end in mind. And not even the end, the evolution in mind, I'll say. And one of the things to do is to build your processes and systems and people around something that you could sell and package. There's a couple of ways to do this. And I'm going to just let you in on what is going on in the back of my mind while I'm doing this. So when we talk about building a sellable business, you really want to appeal to a buyer. So you want to be thinking about, on paper, do I look good to a buyer right now? And that means, am I generating recurring revenue? Meaning, is it going to be a huge effort for people to sell new services, new products, or am I handing them over a turnkey system that just brings in cash flow pretty steadily? That's a huge appeal, right? Is recurring revenue. The other thing is being plug and play with people. So can anyone really step into any role if it gets vacated? So if you were to sell your business and your general manager quits or your operations manager, your integrator, whatever, quits because they liked working with you and they don't want to work with this new person, can they still run the business with the same effectiveness? Now, of course, your people are very valuable to your business, but do you have systems and processes? Do you have methods? Do you have trainings that would enable someone to step into one of those roles without really shattering the business's processes and efficiency and effectiveness? You want to make sure that you're passing on something that is a product that is appealing as a product and a buyer would actually want it. And there's no rush to have it be really appealing to a buyer. Admittedly, my company is not super attractive to a buyer right now, but I'm always thinking about the future state of how can I get it closer to being appealing to a buyer? And it's a process. It's a process. It's not going to happen on day one. It's not going to happen in year one. So Fitnancial, just fully transparent, Fitnancial, what I'm trying to do with Fitnancial is, yes, eventually it would be cool to sell it, but here's how I plan to do that. I would never sell my current clients. They are not the commodities to sell. They are relationships. So a lot of accountants will just sell their client list. I've never really agreed sort of ethically with that fundamentally. I think that's weird, but I'm also weird as an accountant. So there you go. What I would do is I would create a fractional CFO firm that did exceptionally well with client relationships, that had a method to deliver what clients are looking for when and with the right level of support, where they felt taken care of, they felt like they got a different experience than they normally would from a CPA firm, that we really differentiate on the relationship front and the availability and the nurturing and all of that. So we really do exceptional service. In order to deliver exceptional service, however, it has involved me being involved in nearly everything. And it has involved being really attentive to their needs. So if you think about it, I have a first class cabin of CFO clients, which means I only have about 12 seats to fill. If I have more than that, then I won't be able to serve them with the same level of attention. So based on that, I'm kind of capping myself. But here's the thing. In the process of building this first class cabin method, I can then jot down what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, how I'm delivering it, how the pricing structure works, how the offers work, what's included, what's not included, what has to happen at every stage of every month in order to deliver our service, mechanically, how the assembly line works, how the team interacts with each other, what tools we use, right? Our tech stack. If I have all of this documented in terms of the recipe, right? The recipe on how to deliver my CFO service, I can sell that. I don't have to sell my CFO practice. I can sell my recipes. So you don't have to sell your restaurant. You can sell your recipes. You can sell the method. You could trademark it. You could even license it. So you could franchise it, right? This is literally how franchises work. The franchise that starts the whole thing figures out how to unlock the right level of service, the right brand, the right, message to the T. And then they basically copy and paste. They say, hey, franchise owner, do you want to do this too? Here's the entire playbook on how we did it. And if you follow this to the T, you'll be just as successful. In fact, you have to if it's franchise. But if I were to license out my processes or I were to sell my processes, I could make great money doing that while also serving my clients that I want to in the capacity that I want to. And I think that's the goal. Is I never want to sell off my clients. I would never want to do that. The only way I would ever do that is if they were working with a CFO that worked with me and that they knew and loved as well, that they were just as cared for. They were just as happy with another person that I had connected them to. That's the only way I'm going to do that. But if I were to sell my methods to another CFO, they could initiate their own relationships with their own clients. They could market their own services in a certain way. They could leverage my branding to be able to do that, knowing that Shannon wasn't going to be the one serving them, right? Because that would remove me from the branding. And I think that would be super cool if Financial Solutions, or if we rebranded it, whatever, could offer some type of a fractional CFO service under a common method. Now, am I close to getting there? Absolutely not. But am I acting every day like that's what's going to happen? I am. And when you act every day in these micro actions, like you're building something that is worth selling, scaling, licensing, then you're going to be more on track on a 1% everyday basis towards that goal. So you really just have to be thinking about, how could I take a small action today to better position myself for the future decisions I'm going to make that I haven't even dreamt of yet? I couldn't even dream of the idea of selling Financial right now, even though it's not that crazy to think about in terms of the event actually happening. Whether I want to or not, it's a different story, but could I sell it? That's nuts to think about. So when you're building your business, even if it feels like it's in its infancy, just know that the decisions you're making today, the small micro actions you're taking, are contributing toward that future. So you want to be thinking ahead and saying, how can I leverage the decisions I'm making today to better position myself in the future for the firm, for the practice, for the business, that I want to build. And that's what we're always thinking about. So I hope this inspires you to take a few actions today to move you closer to that goal. And remember, you don't have to want to sell your business today to want to build a sellable business for the future. One of the things that holds people back from starting their business and going all in on it to grow it is this hesitation around setting it up properly or cleaning things up to make sure everything is legally and compliantly sound. Between setting up the actual business legally and knowing how to manage the money, there's a lot that can intimidate somebody and scare them into not starting. And that's why I bundled up my 5 best resources all together for brand new business owners or for anyone who's looking to clean things up. This is my 5-day mindset refresh because it always starts with mindset. And my Business Financial Quick Starter, which is my starter course for anyone looking to start a business with all the key elements you need to do in order. My tax deduction guide with hundreds of deductions you can take for your business today. My Money Pro Matchmaker on how to find the right professional for you. And my cash flow forecasting mini course. This is the ultimate Swiss Army knife. It includes tools and templates, everything you need to get started on your business successfully or clean things up if you feel like you've fallen behind. Grab your copy right now. The Small Business Starter Kit is yours for free using the link in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.